All right, so measures essential tendency. This is a way of analyzing different statistics and data. So you can have just a list of numbers, like something like that, or you can have, data associated with some sort of like data you've collected or real world, whatever. So the main things we're going to do are mean, median, mode, and range. The mean is the average of all the numbers. So to find the average, you add them all and you divide by the number of numbers. And that equals the average, or the mean. And then the median, in the word medium, think like small, medium, large. Median is the middle number. All right, I'll show you how to count those. If there's two middle numbers, so if you have an even number of numbers, if there's two middles, then what you do is you average them. And then the mode, so mode and most sound kind of the same. To try and remember, mode is the most occurring number. So it's the number that occurs the most. And you can have more than one mode. You can have more than or equal to one mode. And then the range is going to be the largest minus the smallest number, right? So that's the span of numbers. So let's see this in action. Here we got a list of numbers here. We want to find the mean. The mean, we first have to add them all up. So if we add up all these numbers, we get a 123. So adding all these together, we get 123. And I'm not going to waste your time or mine adding these for you to see. If you add them, you're going to get 123. So the mean is 123 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 numbers. So since it's 123 divided by the number of numbers, which is 9, that gives us a 13.6. It's actually a 13.6 repeating, so I'm going to just round it to a 6-7. So there's our mean. For the mode and these other ones, you want to set them in order first. So in order would mean from smallest to biggest, so there's 3 tens, and I cross them off as I do them so I don't forget. There's 113. Oh, here's another one. And then the 16 is our next biggest. Commas there. Hopefully those aren't too confusing looking. And then there's 3 17s. Alright, so if I want to try and get the, I want to get the median. Median is going to be the middle number, so count from the beginning and the end and go back and forth until you end up in the middle number. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So we're left with this. 13 is our median. That's our middle number. And then we want to find the mode. Now what numbers occur most? Well, there's two numbers that occur most. The 10. There's 3 10s and there's 3 17s. So it's called bimodal. Bi is in 2. So the mode is a 10 and 17 are the modes. And the range is equal to the smallest, or the largest minus the smallest. So our largest is a 17, our smallest is a 10. So the range is 17 minus 10, which is 7. So our numbers, there's span from 10 to 17, that's a span of 7. Alright, so here we have an odd number of numbers. I'm going to rewrite these in order. So I have a 15, it's my smallest, and then I have 2 16s, and then I have a 17, and 18, and a 21. So I add those all together, and I get a, whoops, add those together, we get a 103. So that's a 103, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers divided by 6, and that gives us a 17.67. So this is where it helps to actually have your earbuds in and be listening to what I'm saying, because what if you did this wrong? Alright, what if you counted and you accidentally had 5 numbers? And if you did 103 divided by 5, you would get a much larger number. You get a 20.6. Alright, so 20.6 is bigger than almost all the other numbers. There's no way that can be the average. Alright, so that would tell you that you had done that wrong. Same thing if you counted and accidentally counted that there were 7 numbers. 103 divided by 7 is going to give you a number that's way too small. So that gives you a 14 point something, and 14 is smaller than all your other numbers, so there's no way that can be it either. So 17.67, does that make sense? Yeah, it's about the average of those. So there's our mean. For the mode, you want to use your ordered numbers here, so first, last, and now we have 2 middle numbers, a 16 and a 17. So we do 16 plus 17 divided by 2. We just average those 2 numbers, and that gives us a 16.5. Alright, so that's our mode, or our median. The mode would be a 16 because that's the most used, and it's just a 16, that's it. And the range is largest minus the smallest. So that's a 21 minus a 15. And that gives us a 6, so we have a range of 6. So mean, median, mode, range. Alright, so this one I'll let you guys do for the U-try. Just by way of a little introduction, what this really means is this way of representing data shows us there's 2 zeros, 2 1s, 3 2s, because there's 3 x's by the 2. There's 1 3, 1 4, and 2 5s. Alright, so that is how you would look at that and get your list of data. Alright, also it makes it really easy to find the mode because there's just the one with the most x's. Here is a stem and leaf plot. So the way this one works, this actually represents 41. So this is the first digit, and then this would be like a 42, and then this would be a 44, and there's 2 4s here, so that means we have 2 44s. So we'd have 41, 42, 44, 44, 40, there we go, 52, 54, and so on. I'm not going to do the mean with this one. You guys can find the mean. You would just have to add up all these numbers once you listed them out, then divide by however many numbers are here. But for the mode, it's really easy to find the mode because you just look for the one that has the most, and that's here. So this is a 67. So our mode is 67. That's the most occurring number. Our median, we can still do our, since it's in order, we can count back and forth. So first, last, This is the longer way to do it, but you'll always get it when you do it this way. First, last, first, last, first, last, first, last, first, last, first, last, bam. These are your 2 middle numbers. They're the same, so if you average them, you just get a 7, so your median is 7. And then your biggest number is an 86. So for your range, it's an 86 minus your smallest is a 41. So that gives you a 45 for your range. Alright. And then this is another U-try for you guys. And then our last one here is going to be this one I'm going to go over. These are always on the SATs and kneecaps, and lots of standardized tests have these. They come up a lot. So on our first 5 math tests, Sally received these scores. What must she get on the 6th test to have a mean score of 90? So we want our average to equal a 90. So we want our average to equal a 90. How do we get our average? Well, we add up all the numbers. So 82 plus 96 plus 92 plus 83 plus 91 plus what? Well, we don't know what she got on the sixth one. That's what we're trying to figure out. And then what we're going to do is, how many do we divide by? Well, it's 6 texts total. So divided by a 6. So now we can add all those numbers together, and that gives us a 444 plus x over 6 equals 90. So now we multiply both sides by 6, and we get a 444 plus x equals 540, minus the 444 from both sides. So we're trying to find x, which would represent that 6th test score. And we get x equals 96. So a 96 will give her an average of 90. Anything higher than 96, obviously, average would be above 90. Alright, so this is definitely a good one to do. We'll go over, I'm going to have you do one of those in class tomorrow. Here's your first U try. If you didn't look at it, here's your second U try.